Hello and welcome to Game 1 in this best of 3 in the upper bracket quarterfinals for the Premier Amateur Community League between Manta Style and Crimson Guard. Today on Crimson Guard we have seen them a couple times before. We have Avalanche, Sunny, Abomination, Bobo the Pro, and Sidlow. While on Manta Style we have Live Grade, Retman, Firefist, and Frogger. Super fast picks here. Everyone knows what they want. I am joined tonight by Calypsis from the PACL League as well. Calypsis, what do you think of these drafts so far?
Both Arc Warden and Timbersaw coming out in the first phase as bans because those are two of us best heroes. They're a mid player on Manta Style, or I guess I should say two position player. So not surprising to see. The first picks are kind of surprising. I see CG stole the Phoenix from Manta. It's one of their favorite heroes. And they decide to go for Centaur Treant, so they're just picking a Goon lane.
Yeah, those two heroes are so high in pub win rates right now as well, similar to Necrophos. It's like, what is Centaur? The third highest win rate hero right now in Divine play?
I have no idea.
It's like almost a 60% win rate last I looked, I think. It is on this tab? Yes, this tab. Actually, he's fallen a bit. He's down to 54%, but yeah, Treant's up to 55% as well. And they're both in the top 10. Definitely some high priority heroes.
Yeah, Treant's very good.
Definitely understand the Animage ban there for the Necro. He gets you down, and you don't really have the same save potential that you have versus most heroes with that. And he's really been coming back. Like, I'm kind of surprised. Thought that hero was 100% dead, and he didn't get any buffs or anything. Just the heroes that he was good against got nerfed, and now he's back. Or no, the heroes that are good against him got nerfed, rather, and now he's back.
Yeah, with that Terrorblade nerf coming out, like, yeah, Sunder at level 3 costing 50 mana is actually pretty huge for AM, because you just burn all this mana, and then suddenly he can't live anymore, right?
Oracle, interesting. So they're definitely working on keeping somebody alive. They have the Stampede as well as the Tree Armor and the Fortune's End. Or the False Promise rather. So who do you think that Mana Style are going to grab for their safe lane?
They have a few options here. I think they might end up going for the Ursa because it is open. It's good against Phoenix. It's not great against Necro, but it is still fairly good against TB, and it's definitely a Frogger hero.
How does Enrage interact with Sunder? Is the Sunder damage reduced, or is
Nope,
it acting like
it's exactly the same. Yeah,
okay.
But Ursa also pretty good with Oracle. I don't know. It's not like great against TV. That it's kind of an even matchup, I think. But it is very good against Phoenix.
Medusa. Interesting. Animage getting banned by Manta Style. There is still the potential for an Invoker, but that's not as great against Medusa, and Lion is just dead right now, so I really like this out of Manta Style. They have more than enough tools to keep her alive through the mid game, and she can become that late game beast still. Especially against Terrorblade, eventually she'll want to get an Aghanims, I think, in order to kill off all those illusions. And then TB is like, you know, what do I even do, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do understand the Medusa pick completely, and it's really good with Oracle as well. Like, you use all Medusa mana, and suddenly she's gonna die, and then he gets Oracle ulted and healed up, and he's back in the fight for another like 10 seconds, and the other team really can't do anything against it. I don't think Medusa is great against Phoenix either, but it's really good against TV and pretty good against Necro. So
yeah, early on, we'll probably see a Mask of Madness out of Medusa. Yeah, so at least early on, when it's still 5 or 11, or is it 5-9? The scaling on the
Egg.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I just hit it until it dies.
Yeah. At least until Phoenix hits that level 18 mark, I think Medusa with the mask will be able to take it out and not really worry about hitting other people because she has the split shot, right? So
yeah.
Until the ultra late game, I think it's not going to matter so much. Although, you know, Phoenix, if he does get those fire spirits off, it's going to be quite difficult for Medusa actually to manage that. They have no other heroes to do it.
Oracle can purge off the fire spirits with
Mm.
his Q,
Or with the
but
false
other than
promise.
that, yeah, his ult as well. Um, but Phoenix in general, if he gets fire spirits on Medusa, not even with the egg, that's like she just has no damage output anymore.
Mm. I will say this first pick Centaur out of Manta style feels like it's giving so much value right now because they can run away from Egg, they can get an Aghanims and use it for the damage reduction on Scythe. They can run away from TB Meta and his slow, the reflection, and they can run away from Death Ward. Like, there's not really a good way for Crimson Guard to hold people in place that is not completely just countered out by that Stampede.
Yeah. The cask is still somewhat decent as Centaur and Treant both have to be pretty close in to do their damage, so seeing them stunned together would not be a surprise. And just in lane, Witch Doctor is very strong against strength heroes because Maledict does. It basically means you only have to do half of their HP instead of all of it.
And they generally have low armor. I think Centaur has what, one base armor and Treant has two, so definitely
Yeah.
better than trying to go up against an Agi. And the Drow, interesting. I really like this here. That'll be their mid laner, presumably, right? Necro in the off lane with this.
Yeah, it'll probably go something like that, depending on how Manta Style pick their last hero here. They'll give their best matchups to whoever wants to go mid here, right? I personally would not lane the Drow against Treant just starting out because she's really slow and like she's really squishy and Treant gets 3 right clicks and she's on 25% health. Like it's really bad as someone who's played that matchup a lot. The Drow side anyways.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the Drow Ranger, like what I was talking about before with the Stampede, no longer matters. Like it doesn't matter if Manta Style run away because Crimson Guard are just gonna meta up and run at towers and take them with all of their sustain. They have Death Pulse, they have Healing Fountain from Witch Doctor. They're probably gonna get an Urn on Phoenix, and just being able to hit those towers so early that Manta Style aren't gonna get to really use their Medusa so much. I really like the way that that turns the draft around for Crimson Guard.
Yeah, and not to mention, Drow really helps out in lanes in general. So, like the destructive Centaur Treant lane, like they just get run at all the time. You actually have like a decent amount of bonus damage to stop them from doing that. You just like click them on the way to you, and they take like
Only
10,
on
15%
Terrorblade
health.
though. Like, they're since Terrorblade is not going to be a meta most of the time, right? Or not, or only on Witch Doctor because Terrorblade is not going to be a meta most of the time. So that's still really nice because Witch Doctor does have a nice like early damage.
Yeah, he has a lot of starting damage.
It's what 58
Yeah, it's ridiculously high for a support, basically.
and a pretty good like animation. Not a very good like base attack time, but a good animation regardless.
I think it's the default base attack time, so it's like 1.7 or whatever it is, 1.6.
Phantom Assassin, interesting. So PA definitely synergizes quite well with the Oracle. And doing all the physical damage with her spells means that if you disarm whoever she's attacking, it's not really going to matter so much for her. So I expect to see this game a lot of disarm coming out onto Bowoda Pro on that Terrorblade while PA just stands up and hits him. Alternately onto the Drow, and being able to blink onto the Drow once you get BKB without having to worry about the silence is really nice as well. So definitely a tool that deals with Crimson Guard's carries. The only question is, can it come online fast enough? Because Mana Style have a really, really greedy draft right now against a Drow lineup.
I think they're hoping to just kind of like get 2 or 3 items on Dusa, like somewhat cheap items, Mask, Dragonlance, and something.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe a
just straight
Yasha.
Pike. But and then they just sort of run them down. It is a pretty greedy draft, but once PA gets online, Drow like really doesn't have a game.
Drow doesn't have to have a game though. Like I think in this lineup, Drow is as effective just farming jungle and staying off the map as she is joining her team for push fights.
I agree in some cases, but at like a lot of their team fight control is deleted if she's not there, right? Like you don't have her
That's true.
silent. But I do see how they want to run this, you know, like they want Medusa to get enough farm where she can kill TB, PA can kill Drow, and then everyone else does other things like team fight control from the 3-4.
Yep. Really shortly, I need to reconnect to the game because I have the bug where I see somebody else's cursor. So yeah, I will be fixing that
Manta, you have to carry.
just now.
You have to. It's the only option.
Nope, I still see it, so I'm going to have to restart my client. I would really hate when it bugs out like this, but I will be
I don't know if you noticed.
back in very shortly.
Commander's fine as a safe lane. I don't know what your issue is.
Yeah, it happens like 1 in 10 games that it has to be corrected. But now we are back in. And we can go ahead and see how these lanes are shaping up. Looks like it is going to be a safe lane Drow Ranger picked up by Sidlow, joined by Abomination on that Witch Doctor. Mid lane Terrorblade, something we don't see very often on Bobo to Pro. Off lane, we will see Avalanche on that Necrophos and Sunny playing the 4-position Phoenix. Mid lane for Manta will be on the Medusa live grade, playing on that looks like 4-position Oracle in the off lane, joined by Frogger on the still 1-position Phantom Assassin, but playing in that off lane as the core position. Firefist going, it looks like solo safe on the Centaur in bottom lane, and Retman punching people to death as that Treant Protector here in the top lane.
It's just brutal. Look how much damage he's doing right to this Drow.
Yeah, 1 attack, and especially with that Orb of Venom, once you get the first one, you just chase him down. He has slightly less move speed overall. I'm surprised he was able to catch Sidlow for that second attack. And level 1 do have the Precision Horse. They're going to try to turn around and hit Retman, but yeah, like they hit him 4 times, he hits once, and it's an even trade. It's utter lunacy.
The alternative is Brewmaster.
So, how do you think this mid lane's going to shake up?
Red's taking a lot of damage top, actually. Oh, he has to use a salve. This mid lane, I think will be Medusa favored after a few levels. TB might have like a good start because he has really high base armor and like really decent base damage, more than Medusa anyways, and he can buy a Quelling Blade. Oh, top lane, Drow, really low here, 1 hit away.
He is going to Fairy Fire and be totally fine. Fortune's End there was used to set all that up, and maybe First Blood's actually going to go... Oh man, Abomination staying close not to pop the smoke, and that means Live Grade is going to get that tower last hit, or get last hit by the tower there. But yeah, you were saying about the mid lane?
Oh yeah, and once TB has like levels in Reflection and stuff, it does get a little bit harder for Medusa, but once you get like level 3, level 2, level 3 Snake, you just sort of burst him down.
Yeah, that Snake is so strong right now. Does look like in the top lane, Crimson Guard are going to go ahead and go for this try-on-try, taking Sunny up into the top and letting this 1v1 Necro Centaur hang out in the bottom lane. I really like this move from Crimson Guard. Like, I think that Necro is just going to sit here and farm, and Centaur is going to try to do the same, but Necro's like one of the few heroes that can go toe-to-toe with a Centaur and be happy about it, due to all that sadist regen.
Centaur has decent base regen, but it's really not enough, especially considering Heartstopper basically deletes half of it.
And it's a lot harder with 3, especially since the Voodoo Restoration is so much more effective with 3 heroes in the lane to really get all that damage off. I say that, Tidlow's getting rooted up and is taking a whole lot of damage himself, although he does have his stick out, so he's able to regen at least a little bit off that with all of the daggers throwing out. Mid lane is completely even right now. Like, meta is at level 2, so I would expect to see Bobo DePro shortly try to go for a Reflection meta play onto before he gets level 5. But he's got to do it quickly if he's going to. Maybe he'll do it with this DD here.
I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't just pop meta on the first wave. You get a lot of like free denial basically if you do that.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for the Reflection, but not even going to use the meta just yet here. He's using the Reflection mostly. There it is, meta coming out. 1, 2, 3. Not going to get all 3, but he will be able to with the DD still.
Okay.
Maybe he gets one more? Oh, Fairy Fire's not enough, but Wood Pro able to take this lane. And now he's at 20-6 to 14-3. He's got a clear lead in the CS as well. So at least until that meta's down, he should be completely dominant. And did manage to kill Dusa before 5, which is really huge, because if that level 3 Mystic Snake comes out, like, the lane is so much harder, because you just can't stay anywhere close to it, because it has enough bounces to get past that range creep onto you.
And yeah, TB is a very slow hero in meta. Like, it reduces his movement speed.
Missing both top.
So if he has meta on and he's hitting the creep wave, he doesn't really have that much time to get away if you use Snake.
Yeah, so if you pop it, you absolutely have to get the kill there, and he did manage. Top lane, Zidlo's still taking a lot. Has 10 stick charges, but not going to be able to get any more from the Stifling Dagger Harass. And this lane is not going well for Sidlow. 19-7 on Frogger to the 9-2 on Sidlow. He's going to get held in place for a short while. There's going to be a good cast out, getting a couple of extra stuns off with the sentry down to get vision. Now Frogger's going to blink in here onto Sidlow. One more. Nope, going to get sticked up. And Frogger probably isn't able to make this, especially with the salve up. Now, however, Sunny is going to go down. Looks like he's taken out by Livegrade's final auto attack. Livegrade does use the Purge here to the slow, and Abomination is potentially going to go down here. And also, once again, Livegrade getting that with the Purifying Flames. One final right click onto tree means that Sidlow gets the kill there, silencing out, killing or pushing Phantom Assassin away. Sunny coming in with the threat of the Fire Spirits, even though he doesn't have those up. Just seeing him in the area after he comes back, you think he has the Fire Spirits up, and that's going to be enough for Frogger to want to go ahead and back out and not commit there.
And look at the denies that this Necro has. He has 20 denies to Centaur's 0. He has such an advantage in this lane.
Yeah, at this point, Fire Fist, like, he's level 4 to the level almost 6 on Avalanche. If he stays for this next wave with the range creep, I think he gets level 6, actually.
Yeah, he needs one creep.
Yeah, not going to get the free kill, though. Since Fire Fist is going to go ahead and TP back to base before walking back out, but it is so hard. Not even, he does have his boots finished, but not even stuff that Tranquil's at 5 minutes in a 1v1 lane. Makes you feel bad. Sunny has already used his dime to get the rune, so he is going to get slowed up. Good cast out comes through, and it's going to stun everyone up enough maybe for Sunny to survive. Another dagger coming through, but he's still alive and going to get healed up by the Purifying Flames as a result. Sidlow getting some slows out with that Frost Arrow in order to make sure that Manta can't really dive into the tower. Sidlow taking a lot of damage. And a blink forward, still 10 stick charges, saving him up. That stick is super value in this lane. I'm surprised there aren't more of them. Another dagger thrown out. They're trying to get onto him. Looks like just waiting for the Fortune's End, maybe? Yeah, Library is getting ready to try to push forward. But they're not going to go yet. Yeah, this lane is really volatile because nobody has a whole bunch of HP. Now maybe they're going to try for the dive, but they do think better of it, just forcing them off the creeps. But yeah, even in terms of net worth, like, this Drow is so far behind. But both of the other lanes right now are winning for Crimson Guard. Their rotation of the Phoenix does keep the Drow alive and getting XP. And they still are winning both of their lanes pretty easily right now. He's going to go for the swap here, it looks like. Boba Pro at least threatening the Sunder, but not going to take it just yet.
Yeah, it's really hard for him to walk up when Snake's off cooldown. Like, 2 creeps could mean certain death.
Yeah, it definitely is a difficult way to go about it. I do think he could have gotten the Reflection Sunder meta play there. Maybe he's going to try to get hit by one more Snake first, but then he doesn't have enough mana to cast all 3 of his spells. So, yeah, it's definitely a hard lane to decide how aggressive you want to be in. More daggers being thrown out. Sidlow getting rooted again. Up to 7 stick charges once again. And now there's no blink forward. Sidlow using the blink. There's also a dive forward from Phoenix. Rather back from his perspective. And they're going to try to turn this around. Stick charges were enough to keep Sidlow alive once again. And still no kills going out. Frogger, in fact, just taking a whole lot of damage from that Maledict. Now we're going to see Livegrade, who was not in the lane for that, come around with a DD. Looks like they're going to try to get onto Boba Pro here, and he does not see this just yet. He's down the hill. He's going to get hit by the Snake, and oh no! Okay, he did still get it. I was going to say that Fortune's End is not going to be enough, but in fact it was. Meanwhile, Drago's down in the top lane to presumably a couple extra daggers, and the right clicks from Retman.
Man, I just feel bad for this Centaur.
Yeah, I was really surprised that that the Fortune's End was enough there. 90 damage. I thought it was not quite gonna kill off without the Purifying Flames coming through, but yeah, Avalanche has just completely destroyed this lane. He's on top of the net worth chart, probably on top of the CS significantly as well. If we take a look at denies, 25, twice as many denies as anybody else. Now Ratman's TPing down. Did TP out of vision, so he's not going to be seen. Oracle starts, but does not complete that TP. And Avalanche at this point has... What did he bring down? Was it the full wand that was on the courier there? We are going to see the meta here on Boba the Pro. Going to try to get forward onto but it's not quite enough. Although one more right click will do it if he's able to get close enough, but with the minus move speed, it is not. Salving up, trying to come out from the other side. Yeah, and I was just going to move back to the shrine, it looks like, pinging it out. And probably will get a support to come join him with that as well. Bottom lane, Avalanche going to be joined by... I was going to say going to be joined by Abomination. Abomination just throwing down that ward instead. No need for a join from Avalanche, even 1v2, not even knowing the second one's there, he's totally fine. Like, I don't think there's any way he dies right now.
Necro is very good against these strength heroes.
Yeah,
just passively Treant sitting there, he just dies.
Yeah, us sitting over here is going to get cast up. They're really hoping for the cast to make a good bounce, and it does not. Bounces back to the creeps. There's going to be the Mystic Snake throwing out as well as Live Grade coming in from the side. Abomination is going to walk away as a result and not go forward onto here. Ratman has walked over into this lane, so they are just going to make sure they can force Boba to Pro away, and they do successfully. He's going to go ahead and go back and use his Shrine. Abomination throwing up another ward over here as well, getting some nice vision in this lane top. As far as the ward game is concerned, like, Crimson Guard, every time I watch them, they're on top of it, and they still are in this game on their regular form on the ward game.
Yeah, Sunny is a very good player. A lot of people consider him to be the best support player in the league.
Well, it definitely shows. The Phoenix that I've seen out of him the last time I cast these games was just utterly insane. He was always in the right place for his supernovas, and they turned so many fights off of them.
I'll be right back real quick. I just gotta let my dog outside.
Alright, Avalanche level 10 now here in the bottom lane to level 6 of Fire Fist. Oh man, but, you know, Fire Fist, to his credit, he's managed to not give up any kills in this lane. Still is going to have his Blink Dagger at a reasonable timing, especially given the difficulty of the lane. Looks like we're going to see some movement onto Sidlow, but he's going to get healed up by Abomination, who does still have that Voodoo Restoration on pretty much 24/7 at this point, making sure his heroes get healed up. Looks like he was able to hit that Mystic Snake, and that just forces Boba to Pro out. Like, a single Mystic Snake forces you out of lane at this point, and it can be so difficult. Looks like we see a Stampede. They're going to move forward onto Avalanche. They're going to try for it. Avalanche, though, does get the Reaper Scythe out. However, he is saved, or Live Grade is able to get the save off with the Fate's Edict, preventing all the magic damage out. Avalanche, however, is still 100% okay for the time being, is going to TP away. And meanwhile, Frogger gets a kill on Abomination top, getting a second kill as well onto Sunny as he blinks forward and throws out a final dagger there. And yeah, but Woda Pro looks like he got hit by another Mystic Snake, and he's just forced to go, maybe even go all the way back to base. He didn't grab a salve on the courier, it looks like there. Oh, he does have a salve, okay.
It's very scary for him to walk up here.
Absolutely, it's difficult. You gotta keep the cooldown, which is not very long, in your head like all the time. Every time it hits, it's like, well, it hit me, so I have 10 seconds. Actually, more like 8. One thing we didn't talk about in the draft, which I totally missed, was Live Grade, you know, saving with the False Promise against the Reaper Scythe, but Oracle just completely nullifies Necro's ult, even with just the Fate's Edict, which he did use here in the bottom lane to keep his Centaur alive.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that as well. I was gonna mention it, and then I just blanked, I guess.
Yeah, well, it happens, it happens.
Centaur's really trying to farm this, I assume, Blink Dagger. He's really the only initiator for the team. I guess you could say Treant or PA, but Treant's kind of... it's hard for him to just walk in, right?
Yeah, that Blink should be coming out before too long. Like, he's done a really good job not dying. Did need some help from Live Grade once to make that happen, but otherwise just has managed to get his XP and take a little bit of gold on occasion, mostly passive gold, getting up his Blink Dagger at some point.
We can go Shrine again, it's up.
They're gonna try once again, maybe to get onto Avalanche, but he does have his scythe again. And there's still plenty of mana on Life Breed though, so he can well, I say that, he just goes up and heals himself with the Fate Edict combo, so maybe not so much.
He still has enough for, well, Root and Purifying Flames.
Yeah, Redman is completely spotted out here by all these Sentry Wards. There's so much just to make sure they can always see him in lane. They're going to try to get onto Sidlow here, but there's going to be a silence coming out. Sunny has TP'd in here. They're going to keep Sidlow alive with the heals for the time being. And another heal coming out from Avalanche as well. They're going to get the side out as well as a couple extra right clicks onto Ratman to finish off him and Frogger. That side means he's dead forever too. This PA is on the ground for 45 seconds.
I mean, they killed 2 people and they might pressure a tower here, but that's actually a lot of space for Manta, I feel. Like, Centaur gets free farm in the bot lane,
Yeah.
Medusa took mid tower.
This should be Fire Fist's Blink Dagger, I think. He gets both of these waves, that's 500, bring up to 21. He takes 1 camp, and that's his Blink Dagger, so.
Hold that oh, I just missed that in the top lane.
Yeah, Live Grade, looks like he was killed off by elimination. Was it Maledict? Right click? Nope. Paralyzing
I think
cast?
it was a right click.
Yeah, just an overall dive. A little bit out of position there. Avalanche sitting forward under this tower, just keeping this pushed out, healing up under Sadist.
Oh, look at Bobo's position.
Yeah, he's waiting to try to get onto Frogger as he comes in. Uses the medic, going onto Frogger. Just a 3. Oh my god, no misses. 4 right clicks down.
Does
Blur.
only have 1 point in Blur.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect him to miss 4/5 of those 4 attacks, or 4/5 of an attack with 4 attacks. So, definitely still in line, but feels bad not to even get it. Abomination taking half of his HP down with that Mystic Snake coming through. There is a Stone Gaze available on Medusa now. However, this is going to be just a 4v5. Centaur trying to finish up his items. But Widow Pro out of mana at this point is not going to be able to Sunder if the opportunity would present itself. Avalanche staying up and tanking the tower to make sure that they're able to finish that off. Tier 2 does go down. So far, a clean extraction. Avalanche taking a lot of damage, but still able to wand up afterwards. Feels pretty comfortable right now with his HP mana pool, and that is going to be a clean extraction from Crimson Guard as long as Retman is unable to make a play here and does not have that overgrowth just yet. So, looks like that is going to be a totally clean extraction from Crimson Guard.
I'll take that.
However, that should mean the Blink Dagger is complete on Fire Fist, and it looks like Manta want to try to make a play with that. They're looking for their opportunity. Lots of cross-ping saying, get the hell out of here. Did they see that? Oh, no, wait. Yeah, they did. Under this ward right here, they should have seen the Blink Dagger. So, seen before the reveal, and that's always frustrating as a Centaur. Or as any hero that gets that big Blink Dagger.
And they're just going to pressure out this mid 2-1.
Yep. The top tier 1 is going to be pressured as well as a result, and Fire Fist still afraid to show in the lane because he thinks maybe his Blink Dagger hasn't been seen. Does have the Stampede available and wants to try to make something happen out of it. But Widow Pro does have that Sunder, and there's also a side up as well as the Death Ward. So this is a really hard fight to take should Manta choose to take it, but mid-tier 1, it's so important for them to defend, especially since they have that Chain Protector, like every tower matters more than it normally would. Dive through, not going to use... There's a Blink Stomp. Looks like they're going to get the kill with the Mystic Snake and a couple right clicks. Now the ult is used from Centaur's side, comes out. However, the disarm comes from Oracle to make sure that Retman survives the scythe and is not going to go down to that and give the kill wave to Avalanche. Frogger, or rather Sunny, is able to finish off Live Grade. Eventually Retman does die, but Sunny gets the credit for that one as well. So, no heals out for Avalanche. Now Blink Stomp forward after Mystic Snake as well as Double Edge, and that'll be the end of Avalanche. 2 for 2, but definitely not the 2 Crimson Guard want to give away for the heroes they've given out. However, meanwhile, Crimson Guard are going to go ahead and take this bottom tower just off the Drow push. And that's really the threat of Crimson Guard's lineup. Like, sure, you can win a fight, but it just doesn't matter if you win one fight when we're taking your towers across the map.
Yeah, the T2 on this bot lane, I wouldn't say it's the most important T2, but it's definitely an important T2. It lets them have a lot of control in this Radiant jungle here.
Yeah, this jungle is, to use the words of BSJ, now a dead lane for Manta style. Also, even the block here, just being a little extra cheeky, blocking off this camp. Making sure they can't be efficient with their stacks. I mean, honestly, given the way that I've seen Abomination play in the past, when he was playing, what was it? He was playing against either an Arc Warden or a Meepo. I don't remember which, but like he blocked 4 camps 100% of the time in the enemy jungle. I don't remember who it was trying to. Maybe it was a Storm trying to recover, but whoever he was playing against, he was just the saddest mid laner I've seen in a very long time.
I feel that. Oh, Avalok actually has Radiance now.
Yeah, he had that in the fight's top. He already had the relic, so the Radiance. I think he just got from the tower gold because he had the relic before they got. I mean, they've gotten 4 towers since he got the relic, so that comes out there.
So pretty fast Radiance for an offlane Necro. I guess he did essentially have free farm though.
Yeah, it's more like a solo 1v1 versus a Centaur. We call it offlane because it is, but I mean, it's not really an offlane at that point. Meanwhile, looks like Witch Doctor is going to go down. I'm going to try to return on this, throwing out a Sunray. Now there's going to be Frogger, totally happy for the time being, sitting under the effect of that false promise. Buyback from Witch Doctor. Abomination decides they want to take this fight, and they're going to go ahead and take it as hard as they can, but the Mystic Snake just completely ends this push for 1 wave at least. As the next wave comes in, they're trying to get some heals up, make sure they're still topped off. There is still a Stone Gaze available, even at level 2. Boba the Pro going to take so much here. Now there's going to be the Dagger and a crit. They're going to heal him up using the Voodoo Restoration. Now the Blink Forward and the Double Stomp, 3-man Stomp in fact, followed by the Double Edge, and that's going to be a dead Witch Doctor once again, dieback, as well as a death on Boba the Pro. Egg comes out. It's going to stay for a little while, but it's not quite long enough, even with the hold from that side. And now Avalanche going to go down as well. Oh, he doesn't actually quite die out there. He uses the Ghost Shroud with wait, the Ghost Shroud prevented him from taking. What happened there?
He still took a damage.
Oh, it was just one. It was just no bounce. Got it.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it doesn't do very much damage.
Yeah, eventually he does go down. Actually, he died in the fountain, according to the click. So that's 6-0 for Manta there, holding their tower incredibly expertly. Now we're going to see Livegrade and Sunny battle it out here. Normally you don't really want to go up against a Phoenix as an Oracle, but Livegrade says, nah, I'm good.
He has a lot of points in Fate's Edict. Like, he can afford it. He just walks up and Phoenix does all this stuff on him and he presses W and suddenly he's not taking damage, so...
Yeah, it's more than 50% uptime for Fate's Edict at this point as well. And as good as the early game was going for Crimson Guard, they were winning 2 of their lanes. They were on top of the net worth chart with 2 of their heroes, 2 of their cores, and one of them being the Terrorblade, who is just utterly dominant. And at this point, Manta have taken it back. They are on top now. And they have more towers left on the map to take away from Crimson Guard. So there's more gold available even still. Frogger here, he went for a BK, or not BKB, he's going for a BKB. He went for a Battle Fury.
It's a little bit greedy considering he has a Medusa on his team, but Battle Fury is like a pretty important part for PA, I feel.
Since there's only really 2 farming heroes on Manta, I think it's reasonable. Because, you know, Medusa is greedy, and it costs them a lot of towers to do this, but at this point they are ahead. Very slightly, but they are ahead, and that should accelerate as a result. And he's not really taking farm away from his Centaur. Like, Centaur, sure, you're happy to get a pipe, you're happy to get a blade mail, but once you have your Blink Dagger, like, you're just happy, right?
Yeah.
Anything beyond that is bonus.
I guess if Medusa does decide not to buy an Ags this game, then the cleave damage is going to help against Terrorblade.
Yeah, and it'll help, like, earlier than the Ags would be available. Because, like, you don't want to get an early Ags on Medusa. Even against a CK is probably the best time to get an Ags really early, like, immediately after your Masked Dragonlance. But we are going to see smoke coming out from Crimson Guard that was not spotted. So they are going to be able to get here with the silence out. But the Stampede comes through. A cast going to hit once, twice, even bounce back. That was a really long bounce in the end, but... it is not going to be enough. And now, Sunny says, let's go Roche. They've already used their Stampede. That is going to be spotted out here. Maybe. They're going to see, yeah, it is going to be spotted out with no smoke. Smoke coming out from Manta. They're going to try to get a big play here. They do have the Blink Stomp in. And now Sunny's already used the Sun Ray. Boba Pro taking a lot of damage there. There's going to be the ult coming out from and he's maybe going to be able to get into the tower. Manta Style takes quite a bit of damage from Boba Pro. The egg is coming out, but it's going to get hit to death. Retman will eventually die after the False Promise is done. Avalanche gets to slide off, but it's not enough to do the kill. The disarm on Manta means that the library is actually going to get the finish onto Avalanche, but it is going to be 3 dead for Crimson Guard, only losing the Centaur on the side of Manta. Not even needing that Stampede to make that play happen. Fantastic 3-man stomp from Centaur in the pit to set that up, and now the Aegis goes the way of Manta, picked up by Frogger.
Yeah, the PA, I guess, is gonna be a real issue. Like, if he jumps on Drow and he does like any damage to her basically, and then he dies, it doesn't matter because he's just gonna come up and do it again and kill Drow.
Yeah, and even still, that BKB, he'll have it after this Ancient Camp. So Drow can't even get him off. He's just going to BKB, blink on Drow, and then Crimson Guard, they don't have a team anymore. Their team is 100% based right now on that extra Drow damage, and they need that so bad. Which basically means Sidlow can't be with his team anymore. Long range dagger, just a little bit of casual harass there. Not really going to do anything about it except say, hey, I see you, but...
I can't hear you over knife hand.
Yeah, he was hoping for a crit.
Even with the crit, I don't think you go there.
Let's go.
You don't see any enemy heroes on the map. You have some... Well, you do see actually a couple of heroes because you have this deep vision over here, but...
At the time, you probably did.
Yeah, I think those heroes were still back here at the time, so... Let's see. Avalanche here. Gonna have his Blink Dagger. I really like this. Crimson Guard, they're having some difficulty getting Avalanche in the place where he needs to be in order to get these really big Reaper Scythes off. And if he's able to get past the Oracle, who's sort of just tracking him around these fights, waiting for the site so he can cast either the Fate's Edict or the False Promise. If he can get past that Oracle and get a big side off, then that'll be potentially fight winning. I'm actually really, really surprised that we have not seen more Oracle given the prevalence of Necro. Like, that hero is actually really, really good. I tend to like playing the hero anyway. And having 2 ways to prevent that, like I've seen a little bit of dazzle as a result. Actually, strike out. We are going to see a bit of a fight happening here. A little early there on the overgrowth. Thought people were tracking him a little bit more closely. Now there's going to be the Cascade as well, getting onto Library with the bounce. Library going to be totally fine now. However, with Frogger coming in with and now Avalanche is the one in trouble. Final blink forward and stomp from Fire Fist, able to finish off Avalanche there. They're running after Sunny now. Blink forward, gets a crit, gets a dagger, and now Frogger is able to get that final right click, even with the Fire Spirit burn due to the bonus attack speed. Meanwhile, however, Boba Pro pushing mid lane, he does get pinged out. There's no blink here. Ratman is looking to try to find him there, but is spotted out by the... there was a ward here. Yeah, ward over here. And now Manta, they're the ones on the front foot, pushing down this tower. So what happened? Crimson Guard, they had super dominant lanes. And it felt like they were just winning everywhere on the map. And then... Was it the blink on Centaur? Was that the turnaround point?
The blink definitely helped. I don't think it was the only issue. Having a fairly Drow... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, immediately popping Necro as he comes in, not even able to get the... not even able to get the heal off after his Ghost Shroud. Now there's going to be a blink forward as well as another dagger from Frogger. He's going to take down Sidlow. Abomination does eventually go down as well. 4-0 in this top jungle here. There was an attempt by Boba Pro to take this tower. He's able to TP away for free eventually, but this bottom tower is not going to take any permanent damage as a result of the tree. But yeah, you were saying?
Just like having Drow a center of your lineup right now, like especially like you're playing around Metamorphosis basically, and yeah, Necro won his lane really hard. But if PA jumps on Drow, her ult is gone. Like her damage is not there, and that means everyone else's damage is not there. So all the extra damage that you would have gotten in Metamorphosis is kind of deleted. And with TB wanting to play more towards the late game, not having a lot of damage in the early game, and committing to this like build where he doesn't go for like Conjure Image and farming, it really hurts your split push and your like goal, your net worth. So overall, I think they're just gonna get out farmed.
And that's definitely starting to come through. It's gone from a 3k to a 13k lead in the last 5 minutes for Manta. And they do have their Blade Mail finish. Not on the way out just yet for Fire Fist, but the Basher is on the courier about to hit Frogger here. So, gonna have to... He's spoiled for choices. You're gonna have to figure out what he wants to take out of his inventory till that Aegis is gone. Well, never mind. Aegis is gone. And now we're just gonna go ahead and pick up that Basher. Moving forward, looks like they're just gonna post up here on the high ground, try to hit this building, while Drow pushes the top lane. So Crimson Guard's gambit here is that they're gonna be able to push faster with their Drow than Manta can push with the rest of their heroes, and that they're ensuring they're gonna be able to have the extra damage there. Not a whole lot of damage actually going out onto Terrorblade, having that 33 armor. Actually, we're going to see immediately just Witch Doctor pop. Is there ward in the high ground here? Now they just seal that. So Witch Doctor down. That does mean that Manta feels super comfortable just coming in here. Now there's going to be the egg coming through. He's taking some damage, is eventually going to get down, not level 12 yet. So we're going to see a Scythe coming out on the backside though, able to finish off tree outside of the range of a Fate's Edict. So he is going to survive, or he's actually able to get that off. Maybe he was killing, no, he killed Librate himself actually. Now we're going to see a blink available on Avalash coming in. He's going to meta up here on Bubble to Pro. They're going to try to get onto Frogger. Now the ult comes out super late from it's the first time, I mean, it's the first time he's had to use it. I say super late, it's just still available. There's going to be a dagger now as well out onto Phoenix, and that'll be the end of Sunny after his buyback. I believe that's 2 diebacks?
It is. 2 diebacks, Phoenix and Bobo.
Phoenix and Bobo, yeah. So 2 diebacks on the side of Crimson Guard. That's going to be at least 1 lane of Rax. Drow was able to push the lane into. Meanwhile, we're actually going to see Sidlow using his pike there for the first time, forcing PA away. Now we're going to see Death Ward coming out as well. He's going to have to get back since his Mana Shield is starting to crumble down to 500 HP. Or mana, rather.
Medusa's actually really good against Witch Doctor, now that I think about it.
And now there's going to be a Stampede forward as well. What were they? They're just stampeding to get into the base. Going to get on Abomination. That'll be a dieback as well, I believe, right? No, Abomination.
So too,
yeah, that Rax does go down. Going to try to get the blink forward here as well as the BKB. Sidlow, though, he is TPing or force tapping himself away. Going to get bashed. And, oh, not going to get bashed to crit. Actually, he has used his Shadow Amulet to survive for the time being. Now Dust coming through. Sidlow using the silence, but it's not enough. Frogger, he's going to get Fortunes Ended, or rather, False Promised here at the end of that, and going to get healed up.
Did you see that? PA,
Dust,
yeah,
swapped it out, and then
that was sick.
Yeah, well done there. There's going to be a dive forward to try and get the attack speed slow off onto Manta in order to keep them from pushing this tower. So that was a secondary buyback. It's
Did anyone buy back?
So there was not a buyback at any point on Witch Doctor. He never even had the gold for it. He just respawns twice really quickly because he's a low level. But at this point, it's a 23k gold lead for Manta Style. And it's so difficult for Crimson Guard to come back into this game as far behind as they are in gold. But if they're able to do it, how do they?
They need to do something about Medusa. If they can shut down Medusa and then somehow keep the PA off Drow, they can win. It's like they need a Diffusal Blade or something.
Yeah, Diffusal might be worthwhile there. Sunny is going to take a lot of damage here. In fact, he does go down. The swap comes out, but immediately bashed up. That's going to be the end of Boba Pro. The ult comes out onto life, but that's not going to be enough to quite kill him off. A final right click and some damage to the Manta will. Medusa ult's coming through, doing a lot of damage onto everybody. The Scotty being used to hold people in place. Now there is going to be the blink forward as well as the stomp and a final dagger to kill off Drow here. Manta, or Frogger rather, getting that final CS on that. GG is called. That'll be the end of game 1, going the way of Manta Style. Crimson Guard, they had this at the start, and then their drafts just kind of fell apart before they could get up the high ground, it felt like.
Yeah, you're playing against these like PA wants one item and then she wants to kill your whole team, and then they just let Medusa farm for a little while. And Medusa still one of the best late game heroes in the game, right? So after a little while, your Drow just feels so bad, like, to play.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get into the lobby for the next game, talk about this as we get ready for the draft in Game 2. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you shortly.